Hello there once again, everyone. Original Blood is back again, and holy smokes, what a story to talk about today. Ubisoft, or Ubifail as I call them, battling to resist a hostile takeover from media giant Vivendi. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'll call it, or how I will pronounce it. So, you might be thinking, first of all, wait, what? And you might be thinking, who the heck are these guys? Well, apparently these guys tried to take over Activision in the past, though Activision is a much bigger company than Ubisoft and has the money to shake it off. So basically, will Ubisoft win this? I don't think so, but we'll get into this in a second. But first of all, boss Yves Guillemot, the CEO or whatever of Ubisoft, blasts the attempt as unsolicited and unwelcome. So let's get into some of the details here. Assassin's Creed studio Ubisoft is in danger of being taken over by mass media conglomerate Vivendi, claims boss Yves Guillemot, which is ironic since you remember when Capcom was up for grabs and nobody bought it. But anyway, Vivendi, which has history in the games industry with companies like Activision and Blizzard, and Sierra, which I don't even know if I've ever heard of that, has been aggressively seeking a controlling stake in Ubisoft since last year. It bought 6.6% of the company in October, 7.36 million shares worth $161 million, and later that month upped its stake to 10.39%. Now you might be thinking 10.39% is a hefty amount, but it's not that big of a deal. Well, in a month, they went from 7.36% or 7.36 shares to 10.39. So, going by that logic, if they kept that up, they would own Ubisoft in no time. Anyway, in addition to swallowing up Ubisoft's shares, Vivendi also started eyeing up Gameloft, the mobile game company founded by Guillemot and his siblings. First of all, let's stop right there. Don't give a shit. I never even heard of Gameloft and don't even care about anything mobile related, so go ahead. Go ahead and buy those guys. And first of all, I should also say this Vivendi company, a lot of people think that, EA is such an evil company and Ubisoft is an evil company. From what I've seen, what I've looked into, and what I've heard, Vivendi, you don't get any more, quote, evil than this kind of a company. People are like, no, 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 Ubisoft, fight them off because you will be absolutely ruined. These guys will destroy you. These guys are worst of the worst. Meanwhile, I'm like, go ahead, come on, buy out Ubisoft. But anyway, Guillemot went on record at the time to call Vivendi's actions unsolicited and unwelcome, while Vivendi said it was all simply part of a strategic vision of operational convergence between Vivendi's content and platforms on one hand and on the Ubisoft and Gameloft productions in video games on the other. Vivendi hasn't stopped there, however. This month, the company acquired 30% of Gameloft, which under federal law was a large enough share to trigger a mandatory takeover bid. Vivendi is trying to gain more of the company by offering current shareholders 50% more than the actual shares are worth. So basically, they're like, "Oh, you want to give us your shares? It's like that share you're holding right there is worth $100. We'll pay you 200 just to give more." Or would that be 150? My math is awful right now. But either way, so they're basically like, "We'll give you free money if you give us your share of the company." So I think it's pretty safe to say that what's it called, Gameloft, will most likely be obliterated beyond any shadow of a doubt. So if there's any Ubisoft fans out there who are actually supportive of the mobile market, well, I'm sorry to let down all two of you, but that's probably going to die off. Anyway, Guillemot has recently met with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Holy fuck, what the hell? Why? I keep forgetting, that Ubisoft Montreal is here in Canada, but presumably to talk about the many Canadian employees which could be impacted by Vivendi assuming control of the company. So the Ubisoft boss has also been speaking to Canadian newspaper The Globe and Mail about the company's strategy to hold off Vivendi. We want to increase the number of Canadian shareholders in Ubisoft to have better control over the capital. We feel it is a good defense. So basically, the more Canadians that hold power over Ubisoft and chunks of Ubisoft, that's their whole defense. It's a sound strategy, on paper, but the question becomes, can those people be bought off? Because, like, remember up here, Vivendi is offering shareholders 50% more. So that makes us think, how greedy are the Canadian Ubisoft employees? So, yeah. It's an amazing to think that a firm as big as Ubisoft could possibly be in danger of being taken over, but to quote the late great Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger fish. Star Wars reference for the win. So, yeah, I'll show you a few comments here that people have said, like, it's only funny now because the Nerd Bully company is scared of demise. Hope Ubisoft gets purchased. Uh, this isn't good. Being bought out would likely mean Ubisoft would start releasing unfinished games with cookie cutter yearly sequels and lots of microtransaction. Oh, wait, that's what they already do. Ubisoft was seen defending itself by flinging endless Assassin's Creed sequels at Vivendi executives. Um, so, I mean, it's big news, actually. It's really big news. And I know it's just Ubisoft. Personally, for me, whether they get bought out or not doesn't really change anything. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you shouldn't wish this on your worst enemy, this type of thing and everything. But this is what happens when you have a public company. This type of thing happens. This is why you should never, like, say you found your own company. You should always make sure you have 51% of it. Under no circumstances. Remember with Mojang, what's his name? Crap, I can't remember his name, and I just had it on the tip of my tongue. The guy who made it, Notch, that's his name, there we go. He regrets selling Minecraft nowadays. So if you have 51%, then you can't be bought out unless you yourself are bought out. But either way, I know a lot of people are saying, Ubisoft, it's competition, you need to help. These companies need to stick together and help each other and blah, 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 blah. I want Ubisoft gone, bankrupt, dead, goodbye, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen. I don't care for them, and I know that's an awful attitude to have, but it's my attitude. Live with it, or fuck off. But either way, if Ubisoft drills themselves into the ground because of this, or I should say if Vivendi drives them into the ground, I'll be doing a little dance on their grave. They wasted money buying out a company just basically to destroy it. So, either way, I don't know. I'm trying to think, when the hell was the last time I even got a Ubisoft game? Zombie U. I think back in 2012, a launch game for Wii U. And I never even beat it because I couldn't, because it didn't work properly. So, yeah, as far as I can remember, that's the last that's the last Ubisoft game I ever fucking got. And that was fucking 4 years ago. Ridiculous. But yeah, I'll wrap this up by saying it'll be interesting to follow this to see how it goes. And of course, when there's more news, I'll report on it. But until then, the last thing I'll say is, could this be the end of Ubisoft? Could their demise be on the horizon? Do you want their demise to be on the horizon? Do you care? Do you not care? Either way, we'll see you in the next video.